Hey everyone, welcome to a rest tutorial on my new 1.50.2 item sorter. The design is a multi-item sorter which is really lag friendly, survival friendly, and pretty compact as well. It's also tileable and can extend downwards as much as you want. This design is actually not my original idea. It was inspired by a YouTuber named Mizuma Games, if that's how you pronounce it. And this is the original concept of his sorter, so huge shout out to him, and be sure to check out his channel because he produces really good videos on redstone. But yeah, as you can see, this design is actually not that cheap. It's not that expensive. It's also tileable, so it goes as far as you want. And each module is really cheap. All you need is a chest for each one where you can configure your items. You only need one of each item to put in each slot in here, which will then configure those items and will sort in that specific column. So yeah, as you can see, if I demonstrate right now, let's say I get like some redstone dust, or maybe I want to start some concrete, maybe even a non-stackable item. So we'll just get some light blue concrete, maybe we'll get a water bucket or something like that. We'll just dump it all in. So back here you can see the hopper's collecting items and is checking which column to sort it through. And we'll start to unload the items right here. So naturally the hopper speed is pretty slow, so this is as fast as it can really go in terms of multi-item sorters. But you can see the redstone is actually being sent into the system right now. So yeah, the redstone just finished sorting, and it's on its way back now to pick up the blue concrete I just sent in. Actually no, I just picked up the water bucket. Alright, so it's going to sort the water bucket. Okay, so yeah, this also can stack. It's called pick up non-stackable items as well. And now it's on its way to actually pick up the concrete. But there you see the water bucket just got sent in. And right now, yep, it's already being sent in. So as you can see, it's pretty reliable. It wasn't very laggy at all. And the only redstone is this line of comparators and just this base of operations right here. So if we look in here, all the light blue concrete has been sorted and the hopper has been returned back to the chest. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool and useful for, you know, disorganized people, people that tend to like throw their items everywhere. Green. Yeah, but seriously, it's really good. It does make sorter very low effort, and the design doesn't take long at all, to be honest. Alright, so how this works, there's a minecart hopper here at the bottom that picks up items from the input chest right here. There's 4 slots that are full, there's 1 slot empty, so only one type of item can actually go in. And this gets detected right here if there's at least one item in, and eventually it will get sent through the system. There's actually a 1 item check and a non-stackable item check, which I'll explain later. But there, you can see what's basically happening is that it picks up 1 item from one of the chests, so this one has stone in it. It would have picked it up, and then it goes back here to put it in. That gets detected and unlocks this column, which then the unloader is able to just send the items in through, and it will be sent into this column of items right here. So if you look, it's being sent through right now. Alright, so how you configure items is pretty simple. So this is the main configuration you want to have for a chest. You would have maybe like 3 non-stackable items, or maybe just 3 stacks of the same item. It doesn't really matter. It's just that non-stackable items are kind of cheaper. And you want exactly 3 stacks and 55 items that are named so that it won't store anything like that. And you can either have 55 like that, or you can just have 5 here and just spread them all out, which is something I really prefer. So all you have to do is sort the item you want in this column is you just put as many items as you want. So let's say I put 5 items in here. I'll just take 5 out. So then it would just sort these 5 items into this column of chests. And you want to make sure that this on the right side has a signal strength of 2, so that you know you've actually done it right. And if you take one item out, it's only going to have a signal strength of 1, and this will not be powered. So the reason why I actually just prefer to have the items spread out like that, so let's say I just take all these out right now. All you have to do is just take the sticks out and put these items in, which is a lot easier. So I've actually done the same for like every single one. And also here, you can see I actually have items that only stack up to 16. So this is actually a different case. So what you want to do for items that stack up to 16 is you want to just take out 4 items, put it in, and then take out another 4, put it in, take out another 4, this will be 4, and put it in. And the same thing happens on this side. You have a signal strength of 2, and if I take just one item out, then it has a signal strength of 1, and this one is not powered. So yeah, it actually works perfectly fine. Then just put the item back in. Okay, so before I explained, I have a non-stackable item check and a 1 item check. So this is actually really important for 2 situations. So let's say I have a stack of blocks, first of all. If I have a stack in here, right, it can't pick up any items from the line of chests. So what I actually have to do is I have to dump exactly 1 item into the system right away, and then it can detect which line of chests it can be sent into. But the problem is, if I dump 1 item into the hopper dumps 1 item into the system right away, it's just going to break the system. So if I have 1 item in here, or something like that, it will immediately get detected right here, and it will actually lock this hopper if there isn't enough items, so then it can just be sent through normally. So that's the easy fix. But another item is also non-stackable items or something like that, right? Because if we have a non-stackable item in here, it is obviously just 1 item, and we'll ignore the 1 item check. So it literally just have a system right here that actually lets the non-stackable item get sent into it, and then immediately gets checked if a signal strength is larger than 3, which is for non-stackable items. And if it is, it just immediately gets sent back right here. Alright, so to demonstrate the 1 item check and the non-stackable item check, so if I just have 1 item in here, it will not immediately just send an item through the system at the start, and actually will be able to detect the items from this line of chests, and still works fine. So if you look back here, the cactus actually did get sorted. So yeah, there it went. And if I sent a non-stackable item through, this is a different situation because it doesn't have to go through the line of chests. So because obviously a non-stackable item counts as 64, it ignores the check. But if a non-stackable item is sent through the system and is immediately detected as non-stackable, it just gets sent back. Alright, so I hope that explains the tutorial well enough. If you have any questions, make sure and let me know in the comments. I actually really appreciate feedback and some tips and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll crack on with the tutorial. Alright, so we're going to start with a tutorial now. So here I've laid out a 12 by 9 area, and in this chest I have all the materials required. Obviously these are really easy materials to get. Maybe the 25 hoppers might be really expensive, but at this point I would suggest you have an iron farm, because you're going to need a ton of hoppers for modules as well. And yeah, it's just really easy. So we're going to start building it now. Alright, so Here in the bottom left corner, we're going to start out by counting 6 blocks to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go 4 blocks up. So I'll just break all these. And then you're going to place a temporary block here, a block beneath it, break that. And then you're going to place a block on this side, go out 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and a block right here. So just like this is what you should be having right now. And then next, you're going to go up 4 blocks diagonally in this direction. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that, break all these. Alright, so this is what you should end up with. Alright, next we're going to place the rails. So you're going to have 2 regular rails on this corner and this corner. So 1, 2, and then you're going to have a detector rail next to this top block. You're going to have a temporary rail up here, break it, and put a block right there, so that this detector rail is facing upwards. Next we're going to place 2 powered rails, like so, connecting these. And then on this slope, we're going to place 2 powered rails, a detector rail, a powered rail, and a regular rail, just like this. And then we have to obviously power the powered rails. So I'm just going to get a glass block right here, put a redstone torch next to it. And then below this powered rail, I'm going to place a lever, powered right there. Alright, so next we're going to get a fence gate. Make sure you're facing this way, and the fence gate has pointing in the direction of this block right here. And then you're going to grab your chest. This is going to be your input chest, so you're going to place one there, and a chest right above the detector rail. Now you're going to put your minecart hopper. And with a minecart hopper, you need certain items inside of it. So what you're going to need is you're going to need 3 non-stackable items. So I'm going to choose wooden swords for this because they're easy to get. And you're going to put these in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th slot, just like so. And then next you're going to have to get 59 of any item, it doesn't matter. Make sure you name it something obscure so that it doesn't stack with anything else. So just like that, it doesn't matter what you name it anyway. Alright, and then you're going to put the 59 items in the back slot. So this is what you should end up with. You have the first slot empty, 3 unstackable items, and 59 of a certain item in the back slot. Now, to test this out, what we need to do is we're going to have 2 blocks here. We're going to get a comparator and a redstone dust. You're going to point out, like to this, and a redstone dust in front of that. Now, if we press F3 on the right, we want a power of 11. But if we put exactly 1 more item in, we get a power of 12. So what we want is that we want the comparator to only activate if it emits a signal strength of 12. So what we're going to do there is we're going to have, we'll just break this for now and put a block in front of it. And then we're going to have a block under here and a block next to it. We're going to have redstone dust going into the comparator and a comparator going into the redstone dust. We're going to grab a hopper, put it behind the comparator, and we're going to get 4 non-stackable items. So just fill them in the hopper right there. And yeah, there you can see the comparator gets unpowered. If we put 1 item in, it gets powered. So next what we have to do is we're going to go beneath here. We're going to go 2 blocks down, break this, and a block on the side. And then we're going to have a redstone dust. We're going to put a repeater facing out. And in front we're going to put a block and then a redstone torch on the side. Alright, next we're going to make a hopper clock. So we're just going to have a temporary block here and then a hopper facing into this. And then we're going to have a hopper facing into this. So yeah, you can see like the bottom things are attached. And then in this hopper, it doesn't matter which hopper anyway, we're gonna put 8 items inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like that. And then from here, next to the torch and the repeater, we're gonna place a block. We're gonna place a comparator going up from the hopper, a block next to it, and then a torch on top. Place a block next to this block, and then you're gonna have redstone dust going into the fence gate, just like that. And that is your hopper loader. Alright, so for this next part, we're going to need sticky pistons, note blocks, and observers. So you only need one sticky piston facing upwards next to this block right here. We're going to put an observer facing out the hopper right here. And then you're going to add a temporary block right there and put a note block on top of it and break this. And if you want the note block to be silent, just place a block above it. Okay, next, we're going to on this side, place an observer out from here, and you're going to go 4 blocks up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down here, you're going to have an observer on the side pointing out, and that's going to be going into a block with a no block on top. And then finally, you just have 2 observers going up, so 1, 2, then a block, just like so. So this is what it should look like. This is just a long observer chain, and we can test if it works if we just grab like a lamp or something, and then maybe a lever. And then just power this piston. And if the lamp, yep, there you go, the lamp turned on. So this works. Okay, now we're gonna go to this detector rail right here. We're gonna place a block beneath it there. And then we're gonna have a comparator facing out from the detector rail. And then this comparator has to be going into a block and break that. Okay, and then we're gonna place a block here with a comparator on the side. And then you're gonna place a block here, and then grab a cake, place it right there. So we want this to have a signal strength of 14. Press F3 right there. Anything that outputs a signal strength of 14 that goes into this comparator will work. The cake is kind of just the easier option. Alright, so from here in this block, we're going to go 2 blocks diagonally downward. So 1, 2. Then we're going to place redstone dust on top of these 2 blocks. Next, on here, we're going to have 2 quartz blocks going out from this side. And we're going to have redstone dust there. And a repeater going out into a block. Break this. And then have a redstone torch on top. Alright, next, we're going to have... we're going to go here from the regular rail. Below this, you want to go 3 blocks out. So 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to break this. Then you want a sticky piston. You're going to go 1 block down here and place a sticky piston facing upwards and break that. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to place a block next to the sticky piston, and we're going to go back all the way to here next to this rail. And then here we're going to place a block on top of the redstone dust. We're going to place a block next to it as well. We're going to have a comparator facing out and a comparator facing into the comparator. And then we're going to grab a dropper, place it right there, and then get unstackable item like a sword, and then just put it in. Okay, so now we need to place a block in front of this comparator. We place a block beneath it and a block next to it, like that, and then place a redstone dust, and then a block next to the redstone dust with a repeater going out, and then redstone dust line just like that. Okay, so now we're gonna make a dropovator. So this is gonna be the thing. This is gonna be where the one item gets sent in. So we're gonna place a block above the sticky piston right there, block next to it, and then we're going to have a dropper facing upwards to break these two. And then we're going to have 3 droppers going upwards. So 1, 2, 3. And now from here, we're going to make a hopper line from this block into here. So just like this, you have a hopper facing into the dropper, 3 hoppers facing into that hopper, and then a hopper going into this hopper. Alright, so next we're just going to place our powered rails on this line right here. So like that. Okay. And now next, we're just going to have a block next to this piston, block next to that, and then it just continues going outwards. So just place powered rails on this line here, and then on these 2 blocks, just place regular rails so that they curve. So yeah, this rail line goes from here up to here, and then in that direction. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to make the rail line that sends the minecart back if it detects a non-stackable item. So this is really easy. Just place a few blocks on top of these 3 rails up here. So 1, 2, 3. And then we grab a slab of any kind. And then what we're going to do, we're going to place a block of this rail and a block next to it. Then we're going to break that. Then I'm going to grab an iron trapdoor right here, place it next to this. And then on top of the block next to the trapdoor, we're going to have a temporary block up here, block on the side, break that. And then along this entire line, just put powered rails. Just like that. And then grab a lever, and then power it. So yeah, that's all powered. And you can also power this as well. And yeah, that's our rail line. Alright, so this next part is a lot more complicated. So this is going to be our hopper unloader. So whenever the minecart chooses which item to sort, it's going to end up in this section. So we're going to start with a note block on top of this redstone dust facing into the gate. So right there. And we're going to put a block on top. And from here, we're going to make our second drop evader. So here next to this note block, we're going to place a dropper facing up. And then 4 more droppers going up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we end up with 5 droppers like so. And then next we're going to put a block next to this redstone torch right here. We're going to grab a comparator facing outwards from the bottom dropper like so. And we're going to place a sticky piston facing out right in front of it like that. And then next from this direction, we're going to place an observer facing this way. We're going to put a temporary block right here. And we're going to have an observer pointing out, an observer going into this block, an observer pointing up, and then just break this. Then we're just going to have 2 more observers going up, and then an observer pointing into this dropper and into this dropper. So whenever an item is in the bottom dropper, it just immediately gets sent right up to the top. Alright, so the next part we're going to do, so we're going to get a hopper, and we're going to place one facing into this bottom dropper right here. And then down here, we're going to place a block next to it, and then a block next to this piston. And back here, we're just going to have 2 hoppers facing into this block like so. And we're going to have a block on the bottom here and just break that. Alright, so now from this bottom hopper, you're going to place a block. And then from this top hopper, you're going to place a comparator going outwards. And then you're going to have 2 blocks going out from this one, like so. Then next to this glass block, you're going to place a block here. And then you're going to have redstone dust running along all these 3 blocks. And then next, below here, you're going to place a block down here. Break this temporary block. Grab a repeater and then have it facing outwards like so. And then next, you're going to have a repeater going into a block. You're going to grab a torch, place it here. And then below this torch, you're going to place a block here. And then 2 blocks out from there, and break this block. So after that, you're just gonna have two repeaters like this. Make sure they're powered, and then have this repeater be on 4 ticks delay. Now up here, we're gonna have a glass block right there, a piece of redstone dust on top. You're gonna grab solid block and you're gonna have it here next to the glass block, and then next to the dropper like that. You're gonna get a repeater, set it to 4 ticks delay, and next to this block, we're gonna place another one here, and another one next to this dropper, and you're gonna place a temporary block there, block next to it, and break this, and then you're just gonna wrap it back around like that. And then you're gonna grab your redstone dust, place it on top of this block, these two, and these two. You're gonna grab your comparator, and then place it facing into this block, and then place it facing into this redstone dust right there. And finally, you're just gonna get a glass block and place it on top of this redstone dust, right in the middle of these two drop evaders. Alright, so now back over here, on this bottom block, you're gonna have a block going out right there, and then two more blocks out here, like this, and then you're gonna wrap it back around all the way over here, like that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your powered rails, you're gonna place one up here, two on the bottom, and then you're gonna place a temporary rail here and break that, and place a block of quartz on top of the hopper again, with the rail on top like that. Now here, what you're gonna do, you're gonna grab droppers and more hoppers as well. So here, you're just gonna have a temporary block right there, the dropper facing up, break that, break, and then place a hopper going into the dropper like so, and then you're gonna have two more droppers facing up like that. Now place a temporary block next to this rail, grab hoppers, place a hopper facing into this block, this hopper, and this hopper like so, and then just break that. Now we're just going to have a rail system that wraps all the way around back there. So we just do this, two rails there, and then a line of rails like that, and then place a regular rail right here. Actually, I made a mistake. You don't need this rail. These need to be regular rails as well, and it only goes up to this block. And then right here, you're just going to place a temporary block there, rail on the side, break that, and then break this so that this rail is curved. Alright, so now we just want to have this drop evader be activated whenever there's an item inside of it. So here we're just going to have a block below the dropper and beside this block with the rail on top, like that. Grab a comparator and make it face outwards like that. And then you're going to grab observers, you're going to have it facing out here, and then up there, and going back into the dropper. And then here from this piece of redstone dust, have an observer going out, and another one going up, and another one back into the dropper. Just like that. And then down here, we're just going to finish the rail system that lets it loop all the way back to the beginning. So we're going to go 2 blocks out from this block, then that, so that this block is 1 block next to this curved one right here. We're going to place a block there, a block beneath it, like that, and then just place a block next to it, and then make it go all the way back here. You're going to get your powered rail and just have it go into this starting section. And grab your fence gate as well. And then a detector rail. I'm going to place the detector rail here. And rail here. And then have a temporary rail up there. And then break it so that it's facing up. Next, you're going to have a fence gate. Place it exactly in this direction so it doesn't fall down. And then from there, we're going to grab hoppers. And you're going to have a redstone torch right here. And then you're going to have 2 hoppers. So we're going to have one facing in this direction, right this. And another hopper facing in this direction right here. Alright, so from here, you're just going to have a comparator facing out in this direction. Have a block in front of the comparator. Place a torch right there. And then place a block on top with the redstone dust on top of this block, and then a block next to the gate. So right now it's turned on. Now the amount of items you want to put in the hopper is kind of your choice. So based on the length of your modules, if you have a lot of modules, you're going to need more items in here, because this basically sets up a delay where if the minecart gets back to the input chest too fast, then the rest of the items that are still in the unloader will not be able to get to the end of the sorter. So we need to have a certain amount of items in here. So if you have it, like, it's not that long for you, you're just gonna have like a few items in that. But if it's like very long, maybe like a stack of items would do. I'm just gonna have 16 for now. So yeah, this powers the torch, and then this unpowers the gate, just like that. And there we go. We're actually done with the entire starting section. Yeah, hi, feature me here. I forgot to put this in earlier, so it kind of broke, but we're just gonna put the item detection for this drop evader right here. So we're just gonna have a block next to the dropper, block beneath it, break that, and a comparator facing out, the hopper in front, reserver on top, and then a reserver going back into the dropper. So if we just send an item in, it just goes through right away and ends up right here. Alright, and now the last thing we want to do before we finish the starting system, we're gonna grab hoppers, and above this observer that's facing upwards, we're just gonna place one block here and a temporary block here, like these two. And you're just gonna have a hopper running into here and a line running into that hopper, just like so. And then another line from here, this dropper running into that hopper, like that. So if we just place an item in here, it gets sent to the end. We'll just break this. And now we're done with the start. Alright, so there's a few things I actually do need to address before we actually crack on with the modules. So here, sometimes this rail might not curve in the right direction. So like, if I place it again, it's going to curve in like that. So what we can do is we replace this redstone dust with a repeater and place a lever like this. This for some reason is actually better than powering it from the bottom. I don't know why, but yeah, that's kind of how it works. And then we could just replace this again. And another very important thing, so back here with all the hoppers and stuff, so in this hopper right here, facing outwards into nothing, place an unstackable item. And then down here, in this bottom hopper in the middle, facing into this one, place a non-stackable item. And then the entire system should be up and running once again. Alright, so now that we finished the hard part, now we're gonna start with the modules. So these are gonna be the columns of the categories you want to sort your chests in. And for each module, this is all you need. So literally, you just need 3 non-stackable items per 64 sorter items like this, and then 55 sorter items, or 55 of any item, honestly, because this can stack up to an entire double chest. So if we just have 55 of any item and 3 stacks of any item, it will still work. This is just kind of like the base of the chest. So you just need 5 blocks of quartz as well, a block of glass, 2 chests, hopper, 2 droppers, 2 comparators, 2 redstone dusts, 2 redstone dust, an observer, and 2 powered rails. And sometimes you're just going to need a lever to power the rails. That's totally fine as well. So yeah, let's just grab all of these and start building the modules. So let's say we want to build 4 modules, okay? So all we have to do is you go 4 blocks out from this powered rail here, with the one in this line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here, and then right here, this is going to be the end. Let's say this is the end of our sorter. We're just going to have a system that lets the minecart get sent back up. So this is kind of like the same one from up there. We're just going to put a block there, and a block next to it, and break that. And then put a block next to it, and put a block here, block next to it, and break that. Grab a slab, place a temporary block here, and then a slab next to it, and then break that. Now all you do, actually wait, no wait. Alright, so next, after we build these 4 blocks, we're just going to build the system that sends the minecart back up to the top. So we're going to go 1 extra block out here, and place a temporary block up there, 2 blocks out, then temporary block here, and then 1 block next to it, and then just break these 2. And then you're just going to have a block on top of this one right here, and then a slab next to it, and then break that. And now you're just going to have powered rails running on top of every single block except for this one, like that. And then if you just want to power this, just maybe put like a torch underneath it or something. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so next, you're just going to have a chest on top of each rail, a double chest actually, and make sure the second chest is on the side pointing this direction, like this. So we're gonna have 4 double chests because we're building 4 modules. You would normally just get as many double chests per module, so we're just gonna build 1 module first just to demonstrate. So here in this one, we're gonna have 3 non-stackable items, and then we're gonna have 55 regular named items so that they don't get picked up. So I would just spread them out because I like to spread them out. You can do whatever you want with them, it doesn't matter. So just like that. And then you can just duplicate that for every single chest. I'm just gonna do it for 1. Alright, and then you're gonna have a block beneath this chest, right there, to compare to pointing up from the chest. And then you're gonna have a block facing in front of the comparator, and then a block on top. You're gonna grab redstone dust and just place 2 on top of this. And then if you press F3, this has a power of 2, this has a power of 1. If we take one item out, this has a power of 1, and this has a power of 0. So that's exactly what we want. And then now we're just gonna get a hopper and place it next to this powered block right here with a powered rail on top. And now we're just gonna grab an observer facing out from this hopper right here. And we're just gonna place a block in front of this. We're gonna grab 2 droppers. We're gonna have it facing up and a dropper facing down. So like this, they're facing into each other. And all you need to do is just put one random item in. And what's gonna happen is that if we take it out, then this item will have gone into here. But if we put it back in, the item stays in there. That's what we want. And now what we have to do is we just grab a block of glass, place it on top of this top dropper with redstone dust on top. And then here you're just gonna have a block next to this, and then a redstone comparator facing outwards. And that is literally your entire module. It's as simple as that. So from here, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have your line of chests as long as you want. So what you have to do, let's just say we want to go like 4 chests low like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chests like that. And then make sure this one is always empty. We can't have any chests here. We can't have any chests above this point. So literally just have a hopper facing into each chest. And then here you're gonna have a hopper facing out in that direction, like so. And that's basically your entire module. So if you want to have lots of chests, like before I said, you should probably get an iron farm and a wood farm, or maybe, well, okay, definitely iron farm, but you can just gather the wood if you want. So I'm gonna finish setting up all the other modules right now. Alright, so I finished connecting up all the modules. So we have 4 columns of chests right now, and I've also connected up the rail line as well, so that whenever it gets sent here, it just gets sent back to the top and into the unloader. And yeah, this is essentially you're sort of complete. But before we finish, there's also some things I have to mention as well. So in 1.16, this line of redstone will not work because here, I'll just kind of show you right now. Right now, so you can see this redstone dust has a power of 1, and is also connected to this redstone wire right here, which also has a power of 1. So normally this block right here, this wouldn't be powered. But in the 1.16 update, this block does count as powered, which does kind of break. Which isn't really something it's not really something I like, but there's obviously some replacements you can do with this. So I'm going to show you an example of one right now. Yeah, so this is one solution for 1.16. Obviously we're still in the same version, so this wouldn't work, but in the new version it does work fine. It does have like the same action as this does. It just doesn't need this redstone dust back here. So yeah, once again, thanks to Myzuma Games for coming up with these ideas. There's also another solution that looks a bit like this. So if we just replace that there and put a block on top, like so, the redstone dust right there, and a comparator going into here. This is also another solution, but it's a lot more expensive. And like overall, a lot of these solutions are a lot more expensive. So like even with this one right here, with this one as well. This kind of works, but we just need to add a lot more items into the system instead. Yeah, that. So, yeah, it's not really like the best thing in the world, but these are kind of like the only things we have to solve this problem. And then the last thing I want to add is a small little add-on, how you can get non-stackable items and overflow items that aren't in the sorter, into your storage. So let's just add 2 more columns of chests like so. So this one right here is going to be for our non-stackable items, and the rest can be extra items. The extra items can go as long as you want, but we're just going to have 1 column right now. So for here, we're just going to have hoppers going into the chest as usual. We're going to have hoppers going outwards like that, just like the rest of them. Okay, so to make our non-stackable item filter, all we have to do is very simple. We just have to place a block right here. We're going to have a comparator facing out, and then a block of glass right here next to the dropper with redstone dust on top. 2 blocks of quartz, 2 dust on top, and then redstone quartz right here. This actually might slightly ruin any items into this column, but it's not that big of a deal. So we're just going to have a block next to this hopper, the redstone dust going into this block. And as you can see, it actually does cause a quick burnout, so we're just going to have a block above that to cut off the signal. And there we go, that's our non-stackable item filter. So if we just toss a sword in there, you can see it already goes down to the bottom. Actually, wait, that's the wrong chest. But, yeah, I kind of have the chest with the MBT tag. Yeah, there's the sword right there. And then, obviously, any other item that doesn't pass this filter will just go into the rest of the chests. So, yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this does come in handy, because this sorter can really solve many issues with organization, and is really cheap, like really cheap. All you need is an iron farm and a lot of wood, but the rest of the components are so easy to get. It's great for survival. I highly recommend you put in your server. Once again, thanks to Myzuma Games for the concept of the idea. Thanks for letting me steal your content, but make it different. No, I'm joking. But yeah, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for future redstone content, and I'll see you guys next time.